Hello everybody, it's Jessica. Welcome back. So I am doing Defemerember, and yesterday I posted, here, let me make sure you can see that. I posted moth-eaten lace and postcard and hand or machine sewing. So today I'd like to do floating pocket and bold numbers, as well as the journaling card and tiny letters. Because I want to put this card in that pocket. So we've got bold numbers and tiny letters going on. So I was really intrigued by the floating pocket that Barbara did that had the slider. I don't think I've ever actually made one like that. So I think I'm going to do that. So what I have here is, this is just a piece of cardstock that I bubble dyed at some point with I think it's actually vintage photo, not coffee stain, and then some other colors. And honestly, I did this so long ago, I don't remember. Don't remember what I did with what I did, although it's probably on a video. So I would like to make a pocket for right here, a floating pocket that's actually a top loading pocket, and then have the journaling card slide down so that you can write on it and then slide it back under. So it's kind of like a hidden thing. And so for that, for the pocket, I have, this is a Crafts Consortium Vintage Emporium paper. It's 180 GSM, and it's just Crafts Consortium. I don't think it has any particular other identifying features other than its Vintage Emporium. And I think I ordered this when I realized I wasn't going to be able to get the Tim Holtz papers anymore, because it was the kind of the closest I could come to something being kind of Tim Holtzy. Now for this one, a lot of these have like a ledger on the back, so I'm not going to use the ledger on the back ones because the ledger on the back ones are so good for writing. So I'm going to do something that's double-sided. Oh, there are, oh look, postcards. Could have used those yesterday. Those are kind of fun. The ads, I kind of like the, oh look, it's that same thing that we always see. It's a public domain image. Okay, so I'm going to use this one, and I'll put this to the side. So let me get my cutting tool thingamajig. So this folded piece of paper, it's just a letter size, US letter size. I think it's 5, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, 5.5. So if I make it 5.5 and I do a 1/4 inch fold under 3 sides, oh, I could do it. If it's floating, it should be all enclosed. So let's do, and this is 12 by 12. So let me just cut this in half. 6. Let me cut this in half this way. Ooh, I'll cut the little girl in half, won't I? Let's not cut the little girl in half. 6. So be it. So be it. Okay. So we've got 2 of those, but I want to do some folding. So these are 12 long. If I do it 6 inches, that's kind of too tall. All right, so I do have to cut these down. Hold on. I did not make a prototype, so this is the problem. So so this is 8 and, so if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, that still has plenty of room for, say, an index card style card to slide up in there, or I could cut that down to slide up inside there. How wide is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do it 4. So 8 if I fold it. So let's do this. Make this 8 inches long, and then I'll fold it in half. So 8 this way. I cut off all those eggs. That's all right. I don't really need that image. So that's going to be 8. That actually would make a good journaling card. It already has tiny letters. Put that to the side. And where's my other piece? I'm going to cut off the fancy lady, I think. Like that. All right, so now we have to fold these. And they need, so first they need to be folded at 4 inches. That's because they're going to be folded in half. But then we also need to fold the sides in. So let's do a 1/4 of an inch on each edge. There's one. Okay, we're going to fold it in half at 4. And then a 1/4 of an inch at each side. There we go. Okay. So then, oops, where are my big scissors? I used them yesterday, but apparently I didn't put them back where they belong. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, I don't need both of these to have a flap. I only need one of those sides to have a flap. So I'm going to cut up to the score line is there, and then I will just angle that in, angle into the score line, and then cut along that score line. And now this can fold in, this can fold in, and then that will fold down. And we can choose, oh, that's pretty cute. You can choose which side you want visible. Okay, but I'm not going to close it up because I want this to be, I need a slider down the center. So for the slider, what do I have? I have a piece of file folder. And let's just mark this. Let's make it 3/4 of an inch wide maybe. And then I don't want it to jam up against the edge there. And I want it to be unseen here. So I'll make it that. Oh, I don't feel like grabbing my cutting thing again. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do the knife trick. Okay. There we go. And then like this. And let's see, does that look like it's going to, oh, you know what? I probably should have made little foldy flaps at the ends so that it can come right up to the bottom. All right. So let's do, let's just line this up here and we'll do 2 of these full height at 3/4 of an inch. I know that moved, but it doesn't really matter because it's not going to be seen. And another one here. I'm actually going to make one more. I'll tell you why. Because I can use the same material for the wraparound bit. There we go. Okay. So this is going to go like, no, this is going to go like this. And I'm just going to fold down the ends like so. So that'll go like that. And I'm going to butt that right up to the edge, aren't I? Yes, I am. Like that. And then I need one of these. Here's the short one. To wrap around. I don't want it tight. If it's too tight, it'll bind. And I don't want to be binding. So I'm just going to cut that like that, give it a little burnish. There we go. And that will go there like that, and that'll go there. So let's glue this stuff down. Some art glitter glue. And I can glue down these floppy edges. Like so. And I will set that to the side. So let's do the same thing on this one. This is already, we've already done our foldy bits. Snip off. This is probably more efficient. I feel like I'm remembering my efficiencies as I go along after having been out of it for so long. And you could totally round the edges on this. I don't feel the need if whatever this winds up going into has the theme of rounded edges. Since it's a floating pocket, I can always round the edges later. Okay, I will fold this in. I'll fold this in. Oops, I didn't snip that corner, did I? There we go. Just so that it's not glaringly obvious from the outside. And that will fold down like that. Pardon me, or that, but I think this is cuter. Okay, so then I need a slider. So we need to give this some flaps at each end. Like that. And then it also needs a wrap. And I'll glue that down. Okay, I want this right to the bottom, and if it doesn't make it right to the top there, that's fine, because oops, don't want to glue that shut. Or glue the slider. Don't want the slider to get glued down either. Let's check this one. Did I do that on here? Nope. All good. Okay. So we want these to be the front. We need bold letters for the front. And I have this stamp set. This is Stampers Anonymous Numeric CMS 161. And so these are pretty darn bold. And I was thinking of putting a 25 on one, like that. And I already have some bold letters on here. I'm just gonna put a 1 over here because there are already some numbers on here. I suppose I could emboss it, but I think I'm just gonna go with inking. Let's go with black. I have my black stays on. What else do I have? I have blue stays on. That's my embossing pad. White. I'm not going to do white. Okay, I think I'm going to use my stays on black. You know what? I think I have. I do. I have some re-inker. Stays on a re-inker. Let's see what happens if I re-ink it rather than feel the need to buy a new one. Okay. Alrighty. Let me grab a block. Pretty juicy looking now. Ooh, that looks good. I'm just gonna go right there. Ooh, I like that. And I actually like that better than I think I would have if it were embossed because it's matte. The black embossing that I have is very shiny and sparkly, and that's nice and matte. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to put the 1 back. And let's do the 25 on this one. What am I doing? 25. That distance apart, right like that. Dog hair. I have 2 huskies, and dog hair is just a state of life. Okay. Let's do it this way on this one. Get it nice and covered. All right, that's looking good. All right. It's always so nerve-wracking. Will it or will it not come out? Is it going to be okay? Is it going to be wonky? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay. Put those back. All right, so we have our bold numbers, but do we want some other embellishments? I did pull some other things out. Clear the deck here. Let's see. I grabbed my Tim Holtz field notes. I grabbed, oh, that's not for this. I grabbed some, why did I cut? Oh, I grabbed labels. I'm thinking label maybe? Let's open is the question. All right. So I have, I think these are all mostly Tracy Fox labels. Field diary. Please quote. Field approved. These are stickery ones. These are on tracing paper. These are sticker paper ones. I have a video on how I made these. You do it like with stamps, and you do it like a masterboard, and then you cut them up. Identified specimen. Field specimen. Ooh, these have been distressed. Okay, let's see what we can do with these. So those are tickety. All right, let's do figure A. Thank you to everybody who stopped by and watched my video yesterday. It's always very exciting to upload a video and have it, you know, you go back and you check, did anybody watch it? And it's always very satisfying to see the little numbers change. It's like, oh, somebody watched. So and it's even more exciting when someone leaves a comment. So again, thank you. So we have figure A, and then we have, I feel like I should have other labels that are like just blank labels. I don't. These are, I have these, this little box of them, bin. These are kind of industrial. This is tickety, reserved seat, private collection, date, fragile, handle with care. No, I don't want that. I like this private collection, date, I want to cover up the one. Maybe it should be, maybe they should be like with eyelets. So it gives it a little bit of an industrial feel. Let's see, I'm just seeing what we have in here. Oh, here's an owl. Gets kind of lost. It's such a busy paper. We have a ticket. Got some tickets. No, I don't want to do that. I have, what else do I have over here? Ooh. I didn't even realize I had those. $21. Private collection and date. How about that? Okay. So I need eyelets. Oh, I know where my eyelets are. They're in my drawer right next to me. I have this kind of eyelet that have kind of an industrial look to them, and they have a backing. So for this one, I need my crocodile. Nope, that's not a crocodile. This is a crocodile. I'm going to do it on this side because there's space. And then I seem to remember that these are a little bit big and you have to kind of work them in. Have to widen the hole a little bit and then work them in. There we go. Maybe? Come on, you. It's paper. You should be. There we go. I believe that this still works. That did not feel like a proper squish. Oh, it was. It worked. That worked. Leave a little extra squish there. Okay. So we've got some bold numbers, and then private collection can go there. Or does it not even need that? If I do that, I can see little bits of other things, and then I could also glue that on 3 sides so it is another actual pocket. And you know what, I'm going to, before I glue it down, I'm going to give it a little bit of a, oh, I'm sorry, a thumb nibble, so that it's an indication that it is pocketable. Okay. Okay. Kind of like that. So that's going to be my pocket. And that's one. Let's do something else or similar on this little girl. Except she... let's see if we can find a There's a little bit of a botanical behind there, and she's got flowers. So let's see if we can give her a flower. I think there might be some in here. Looks like mushrooms. Here's a little flower. And here's a moth. Do we want more flowers in the moss? Yeah, we do. We're going to go big on that one. Don't need this out anymore. Okay, and I'm going to ink the edge of this flower. Like so. Okay. And then the moth can go here. And then identified specimen. Why don't we do identified specimen? Okay, identified specimen. There we go. Or down here. No, here. Okay, let's glue this down. That was easy. Moth can go there. An identified specimen. Can go right there. We lose the bold letters a little bit, but that's okay. They're there. They're background. Okay. I've lost my glue top. It'll turn up. It'll turn up when I tidy. Okay, these can go back in there. These can go back over here. This can go back in my labels cigar box. But they won't go away because I might need them again. Do we want... I don't think I want another eyelet on here because I think what I'll do is I will, on the card, I will make an eyelet. All right, so now we have to decide on our card. So this needs to fit in there, but it looks like I need to take some length or width off of the card. So, and I want it to be slightly smaller than the container. We'll do two at a time here. Then the edges, because we want it to not bind. We want it to slide smoothly in and out. Gonna move that so it lines up with a dotted line. That goes there. There you go. That will be good for stamping a label on. Okay, do we want to, nothing we have not done any edge rounding, yikes, yet. So let's see, will that slide in? And will it? Oh, I wonder if I should I do that? No, I should do this. Okay, so then that, theoretically, this card should slide in and out on that slider. But this needs, both of these need a tab. Whale tail tabs. So I have another cigar box here. And this has whale tail tabs. Let's find a whale tail tab. Look at me, I was so good. Every time I had scraps, I made myself. That is Tim Holtz with a bug on it. I'm going to use that for the botanical one. And then for the one that has the steampunky. Ooh, that's a good mothy thing too. I'm going to use that mothy thing instead. Are there anything that's industrial or steampunky in here? That's that Tim Holtz paper. That will do. Well, that's interesting. I don't have any proper steampunk ones. Ooh, that's canvas. That feels cool. That can be sewn on. All right. Just decide, Jessica. All right, it's going to be that one. Okay, so those are both the correct size. So I'm going to glue them on like that. And I think I will put an eyelet in the bottom of the tab, because then you could have a dingle dangle and it'll be another little embellishment. So that will go there. Ooh, I like that side. And then this one, where did my little moth go? So this is actually, this moth is from a Crafts Consortium cardstock paper pad that was like Spooky Bugs, I think. That wasn't the name of it, but it was a Crafts Consortium set that I really enjoyed. Okay. All right, and this is supposed to have tiny letters on it. Tiny letters. I don't want to cover this too much, because the idea is that it's a journaling card. And if we're sliding it out, you're only going to be able to, journal on the one side. So this seems like a good time to pull in some Tim Holtz stamps. So I have something that's just numbers too, I believe. Hold on. Sorry. Should have thought this through. I think they were like, I remember using it in concert. Oh, look here. Here's something tickety to go with the tickety one. Yeah. So these have tiny numbers. So here's what I could do. I could do actually, I'm going to do this little moth. All right, so first of all, let me tell you what this is. This is Field Notes CMS 396. And this has this little moth on it, which should absolutely go with the moth, and it has tiny writing, tiny letters. So I'm just going to put that right there in the corner, and whoever journals on this can journal around the moths. And we're going to stamp this with archival ink in, whoops, that not work. Archival ink in coffee. Assuming this still works. Please, please work, please work, please work. Ta-da-da. Ta-da! Yay. Okay, where's my paper towel? Okay, so that is one. And again, I don't want to do too much on it because the whole idea is that this is a spot for journaling. And if you do too much, should we do it? So this is going to go in this one. Well, you know, yeah. And it has some tickets on it. Let me pull this out. These have definitely tiny letters. And I think this one would work in that same side. Maybe I'll do it along the edge here. But I think I'll use this vintage photo ink. I want it to be super light, almost like a watermark. I'm just looking in my drawer to see if I have anything that is even lighter. I have antique linen, but that might not show up at all. Bundled sage. Nope, it's going to be vintage photo. I did it upside down. All right, so be it. It will be upside down. So be it. Nothing I can do. That's me being rusty. Okay, so this, I think, honestly, I can't tell you where I got that. I think it was probably from when I first started, and I think I probably got it from, AliExpress. Please don't hate. I didn't know any better back then. I don't do that anymore. Okay. So this is going to go here. Like so. And I think I'm going to glue this on when it's at the top. Like so. Like so. And then these flaps are going to get a stripe of glue, not on the card, and a stripe of glue. Oh, you know what? I lied. That was my one chance to round the corners. If I don't want, if they're not rounded now, they're not going to get rounded later because everything is now in there. Okay. Ta-da! All right, it doesn't come all the way down. We're missing a little bit of journaling space, but that's okay. It's Hidden Journaling Floating Pocket. If I maximize this down here, let's just try that. Let's try it this way, see what happens. We're going to be brave. That's as far down as it can go. And then when we slide that up, it peeks out a little bit more, but that's okay. This needs to be snipped. And then we need to make sure that this is like that. When we glue this one on, like that, and that this is folded in like that. When we glue this side down. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Ta-da! 2 floating pockets with sliders a la Barb. Thank you, Barbara. With hidden journaling space. And so that will, I imagine this will be at the top of the page. I mean, you could just glue it. Oh, you know what? You could probably even use this as a belly band. Although I like the idea of it being at the top of the page here, so that when you pull your hidden journaling out, you have a surface to write on. You're not like writing off the journal, and then you can just slide it back up there. I suppose you could, you know, maybe do 3 sides here or 2 sides here and have something in the top. Like you could have it like that, or you could do one behind. And it's a floating pocket, so I would probably do something along the lines of, when I don't glue it in, if it's want to keep it floating, I would probably clip it in like that. Or maybe I would even, I don't know, when it's clipped in like this is not going to slide. Oh, it does. It does slide. Look at that. Oh, okay. So that's probably what I would do. And then this one, I wonder if this would not slide. Will this one slide? Let's take this one off. Clip this one in. Yeah. So you'd have to pull this out just a smidge. Oh, yikes. Okay, there we go. Pull it out just a smidge. Clip it on like that. And then, yeah, doesn't bother it at all. And then here, we could even use this. Ta-da! As the little extra piece there. Okay, so that is my days. Look at me, I'm all caught up. That is my day 2 floating pocket with numbers and journaling cards with tiny letters. And I am caught up. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for for watching and sticking around if you're here. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.